Hi everyone, I'm Meena Puri. I help you resolve emotional triggers at the root. So in the last two videos, I talked about um, the symptoms when your nervous system feels dysregulated. And I also explained the difference between the nervous system dysregulation and the nervous system overloaded. So in this video, I want to dive a little deeper into the triggers. What do they mean? Why do we get triggered? And what's really happening beneath the surface? So, when we get triggered, the word trigger itself implies that there's something has been waiting. Your body has been holding on to something which was lying dormant, and an external situation, an external conversation or a conflict awakened um, that memory of the past. So when that memory is awakened, we get triggered. Triggered means we feel a charge. We feel an emotional charge. We feel a rise in the body. And in the heat of the moment, we may react in a way that later on it feels like, why did I do that? I think that reaction was not proportional to what really the situation was. But before you can think straight, the body reacts, and that reaction needs a relief. And the relief or the outlet is by just overreacting, whatever comes to your mind, putting the other person in their place, saying what feels right in the moment, and then later thinking, maybe this wasn't a good idea. So, it's not your fault. You're not too sensitive. What's happening is you are just full to the rim. When we are full to the rim, we're going to spill over, and it's not going to take much for us to spill over. When the reason why you get triggered is because there's a past memory or an event or a painful circumstance that did not get resolved. When it does not get resolved, the body is very forgiving. The body just holds it because it simply does not know what to do. So where does it hold it? It holds it in the subconscious. So I'd like to call the subconscious as the subconscious garbage bin, which means that from time to time, we need to empty it out. And the way to empty it out is by making conscious what is in the subconscious by meditation practices and many other tools. So the problem is not the trigger, the problem, not the problem, or the what's our attention being directed to is the wound that it is triggering. So I was thinking about an analogy this morning. Have you ever heard the phrase putting salt to my wounds? So salt is not the problem because you can apply salt to your skin. It does not hurt. Only if there's a cut, the salt will begin to hurt. So salt is not the problem. It just reveals that there's a cut somewhere so we can heal the cut. The truth is, over the span of our life, we get many, many opportunities to heal the wound underneath. But in the lack of knowing how to or what to do with it, we do the same old. We do what we know to do, which is to just ignore it, push it down, sweep it under the rug and chalk it out to I'm being too sensitive. It's not a big deal. Who cares? And there's nothing wrong with it. From day to day, we don't have the time and the space many times to think through every experience we have. So we need to go on with life, and this is the best that we know what to do. Because you're walking around with the energetics of that painful uh, memory, you're like a walking magnet. What that means is it's going to draw in people, circumstances, situations that is going to be magnetized to that what you are, to that wound, because it's an energetic match. On the higher note, what a good idea that is. What a good mechanism that is, because if it weren't for our triggers, we would never know that we are walking around carrying wounds, and we would just be kind of like shooting the messenger. And if we keep doing that, the triggers are going to be everywhere. So you know that not every person responds the same way to the same situation. Some get triggered, some they think, what's the trigger? They just have more space and clarity in their nervous system to think through and look at the whole big picture. So if you are one of those people that you get really activated or charged or triggered easily, and that happens chronically, that's something that we need to look at. Many times, what we tend to do, we move away, we move ourselves from the situation, from the person, from the conflict. Not a bad idea for short term, but the thing is, it doesn't matter where you go. Some other person, some other situation is going to trigger the same thing. So it's telling you, the body is telling you again and again and again, please pay attention. So, as you know, the body's reactions, the psychological wounds that we carry, they don't remain psychological, they eventually become physical. So, to pay attention to the triggers and to, instead of worrying about what is triggering you, pay attention to what is getting triggered and healing that, metabolizing that, transforming that is actually a preventative mechanism. So we need to tune in and become aware when the body, when the reactions are coming. That is your opportunity. That reaction has information in there. That's where the wisdom is. That moment you don't want to waste by just thinking, oh, I don't care. It's this person's fault. And I'm just going to not talk to them ever again because there's going to be another person that's going to pop up very soon. So here's an opportunity for you to heal that wound so it does not become physical. Secondly, it does not keep repeating, and you are not getting weighed down by the past. Everything we have not metabolized or transformed, it's a psychological weight. And part of your energy, whether you know it or not, is vested in carrying that memory. So when energy is used, is carrying something from the past, obviously it doesn't, it takes away from the energy you have to live the present. That's why so many people, they have so many great aspirations, but they don't have the motivation to take an action because for the same reason, they don't have the energy. It's a psychological weight that they are getting buried under. So where does lethargy and depression come from? There's a heaviness, there's a psychological weight that has been weighing their energy down from the past. So ultimately, we all have to make peace with our past. We have to heal the wounds so we can become clear, we have space, so we can actually live in the present. So many times we think the trigger is happening in the current moment for the current reaction, but really the trigger is an accumulated reaction for everything that you have not resolved. So the next time when you are getting triggered, yes, go ahead and move away from the trigger. Give yourself, 10 breaths, go walk outside, go walk away, and just write down, what is it triggering in me? What do I feel? Why does this feel so strong, given that the trigger was really maybe not that strong? Have I been triggered before? Has this feeling that I'm feeling now, has it happened again? So you will begin to understand your trigger pattern that when somebody talks about, say, for money, When somebody talks about money, I get triggered. Why do I get triggered about money? There's always tracing back to the past experience, something, money situations with your parents, what you learned about money. And then we need a process to go ahead and heal that. So I am teaching a 21-day experience where I walk you through the exact process. So the details are going to be in the link below. Go ahead and take a look. If this interests you, I would love to have you join me. And if you enjoy, if this is kind of topics are beneficial to you, go ahead and subscribe so you don't miss the next video. And I'll see you in the next video. Thanks for being here. Take care.